We are now seeing the beginnings of another stage of human evolution.
That mutants are very real, and they are among us. What they can do!
I'm Professor Charles Xavier.
I built this school.
The year 2000 marked a defining moment in superhero cinema with the release of X-Men, a film that not only revived the comic book genre, but also laid the foundation for the modern cinematic universe we know today. This movie came at a time when superhero films were considered risky, yet it proved that audiences were ready for intelligent, emotional, and visually spectacular storytelling based on comic book heroes. Directed by Bryan Singer, X-Men brought together an ensemble cast that would go on to define an entire generation of moviegoers, turning Marvel's mutants into cinematic legends. The film opens with a world divided by fear and prejudice, humans versus mutants. This powerful theme of discrimination and acceptance gave the story a depth rarely seen in superhero movies at the time. It was not just about superpowers and action, it was a metaphor for real-world social issues. The idea that people could be hated for simply being different resonated deeply with audiences. From its very first scenes, showing a young Eric Leschencher separated from his parents during the Holocaust, X-Men established itself as a movie that wasn't afraid to explore darkness and trauma alongside heroism and hope. The casting was one of the strongest aspects of the film. Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine became instantly iconic, even though he was relatively unknown at the time. His rough charm, pain, and reluctant heroism made him the heart of the series. Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen brought gravitas and emotional complexity to the roles of Professor Charles Xavier and Magneto, two old friends turned philosophical enemies. Their ideological clash about humanity's future formed the emotional backbone of the movie. Halle Berry as Storm, Famke Janssen as Jean Grey, James Marsden as Cyclops, and Anna Paquin as Rogue rounded out a cast that felt both grounded and extraordinary. The film's tone was serious and grounded, quite different from the colorful and campy superhero films that came before it. It blended realism with fantasy in a way that made the mutants feel believable. The black leather suits, designed for practicality rather than flash, became a visual symbol of this new era of superhero storytelling. The focus wasn't on costumes or gadgets, it was on the characters, their powers, and their personal struggles. Every mutant was fighting their own internal battle, making them more human and relatable. One of the most remarkable things about X-Men 2000 was how it managed to introduce a large ensemble cast without feeling overcrowded. Each character had a purpose, and the movie did an excellent job balancing their individual stories while maintaining a tight, focused plot. Rogue's relationship with Wolverine gave the film emotional weight, while Magneto's tragic past provided the moral gray area that elevated the story beyond a simple good versus evil conflict. The visual effects were groundbreaking for their time. While not as flashy as today's CGI-heavy blockbusters, the movie's practical effects and digital enhancements blended seamlessly to create believable mutant abilities. From Storm's lightning strikes to Mystique's shape-shifting, every power felt real and integrated into the story. The film's restraint in showing action made those moments even more impactful. The music by Michael Kamen also played a key role in establishing the film's tone, powerful, haunting, and emotional. The score underscored the sense of struggle, identity, and destiny that defined the mutants' lives. It wasn't just background music, it carried the emotional pulse of the story, elevating scenes of both action and introspection. What truly made X-Men 2000 special was its philosophical core. The clash between Xavier and Magneto wasn't just about battles or mutant politics, it was about ideology. Xavier believed in peaceful coexistence and mutual understanding, while Magneto saw humanity's fear as a threat that could only be overcome by strength and dominance. Their conflict mirrored many of the great civil rights debates in history, making the story feel timeless and relevant. Another standout aspect of the film was its pacing. At under 2 hours, X-Men was tight and efficient, never wasting a scene. Every moment pushed the narrative forward, whether through action, character development, or world building. The story unfolded with clarity, introducing the audience to the concept of mutants and the tension between them and humans without overwhelming exposition. The chemistry between the cast was another highlight. Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen's friendship off-screen translated beautifully into their on-screen rivalry. Hugh Jackman and Anna Paquin's mentor-student dynamic added heart and vulnerability. Every interaction felt authentic, which helped anchor the more fantastical elements of the story.